The night is gentle, the air is still, and somewhere in the hush of time, the whisper of the serpent begins. Breathe slowly now, as though you are lying beneath a wide sky of stars, a sky that belongs not to this hour, but to the ancient world, a time when temples rose from stone, when fires burned through the desert night, and when symbols spoke more loudly than words. The serpent waits for you there, not with fear, not with harm, but with patience, as if it has always been circling, moving through sand and shadow, through dream and memory, drawing its endless path. In many lands, the serpent was more than an animal. It was a sign, a teacher, a companion to the eternal. In Mesopotamia, carved into stones older than memory, it curved like a flowing river. Priests traced its form with their hands, believing it carried the wisdom of rebirth. In Egypt, the serpent coiled upon crowns, guarding kings and queens with its steady gaze. In Greece, it twined around staffs and temples, its skin shedding, its life returning again and again. The serpent whispered of cycles, of endings that are only beginnings, of skins left behind, and new life waiting beneath the surface. And so, as you lie here in quiet stillness, you may sense the truth in its shape, a gentle circle, a curve without end. The Ouroboros, the serpent that eats its own tail. It is not hunger, it is not destruction, it is the soft reminder that nothing truly ends. Everything folds back into itself, everything returns. Imagine now a desert at twilight. The sand is cool beneath the fading sun. The air glows with a golden hush, and far in the distance, a temple rises like a shadow against the horizon. Upon the walls of this temple, the serpent is carved again and again. Its body bends and curves, spiraling around doorways, curling around pillars. Each carving tells the same secret, that the spirit is not bound to one season, that the soul is like the serpent's skin, forever renewing, forever returning. Step closer in your imagination. The stone feels cool beneath your fingers. The carvings are smooth from the touch of countless hands. Pilgrims before you once came to this place, their hearts filled with quiet questions. They stood where you stand now, looking upon the serpent, seeking comfort in its endless form. And if you listen with your inner ear, you may still hear the soft murmur of their prayers, voices carried into the night, words rising like smoke, prayers for life, prayers for return, prayers for peace. The serpent is not only of the earth, it is also of the stars. Ancient eyes once turned upward, seeing in the Milky Way the curve of a celestial serpent, its body winding across the night sky. The stars seem to move like scales, glimmering and alive, teaching mortals that even the heavens move in cycles. And so, the serpent became a bridge between the ground and the sky, between the waking and the dreaming, between life as you know it now and the soft mystery of what lies beyond. It whispers to you, rest. Shed what you no longer need. The day is a skin you may leave behind. The night is a new beginning, a return to silence, a return to peace. Picture a river now. Its waters move without haste, curving gently between rocks, reflecting the moon in soft ripples. Beneath the surface, a serpent swims. Smooth, calm, unhurried, its motion is a ribbon of silver in the dark water. The people who once lived by this river watched the serpent with reverence. They saw in its gliding body the same rhythm as the water. Both moved in silence. Both carried the promise of renewal. The river flowed into the sea. The serpent shed its skin and continued on, and so they knew. Life is not stillness, but flowing. Life is not an end, but a passage. Tonight, as you drift into rest, your mind is the river. Thoughts may rise like waves, but they soften, they pass, they drift onward. Like the serpent in the water, your spirit swims quietly beneath the surface, unhurried, peaceful, forever renewed. The serpent also lived in gardens, among trees heavy with fruit, in shade where flowers open to the sun. There it became a symbol of hidden wisdom, not the kind written in books, but the kind whispered in dreams, in the hush of leaves, in the quiet breath of the earth. When ancient seekers gazed upon it, they felt a shiver of knowing. The serpent seemed to guard secrets not meant to be shouted, but listened to with care. Secrets that could only be understood slowly, like seeds growing into trees. And so the serpent, in its silence, reminded them that wisdom does not come all at once. It comes in spirals. It circles back again and again, until the truth unfolds like the shedding of a skin. Now imagine, once more, the circle of the Ouroboros, its body curved, its head resting against its tail. To the ancients, this was not a prison. It was freedom. It was eternity. It was the quiet promise that nothing is ever lost. The serpent's circle is like the seasons. Winter folds into spring. Spring bursts into summer. Summer drifts into autumn, and autumn rests again in winter. Each turn is a return. Each change is a continuation. The same is true of your life. The same is true of your rest tonight. Your day has folded into evening. Your evening now folds into sleep. Sleep will carry you gently into another day. And so the circle turns. And so you are held in the endless embrace of return. Beneath the stars, in the oldest temples, candles once burned through the night. Priests would gather, their robes brushing softly against stone floors, their voices low and steady. They told stories of the serpent to soothe restless hearts. They spoke of renewal, of life everlasting, of the gentle spiral that carries all souls. In the flicker of the flame, the carvings upon the walls seemed to move. The serpents danced in shadow, their bodies curving across the stone. The watchers felt no fear, only wonder, only calm, only the reminder that they were part of something vast and unending. Tonight you are like them, lying in the quiet, eyes closed, listening to the whisper of old stories. The serpent curls softly in your mind, not to bind you, but to free you, to remind you that you are safe, that all things return, that nothing is truly lost. And so, dear dreamer, let the serpent's whisper guide you deeper into rest. Let its endless circle calm your heart. The day has been shed like an old skin. The night is your renewal. The night is your return. The stars drift above, the river flows below, and the serpent moves between them both. A bridge of silence, a circle of peace. Rest now. Feel the old thoughts slip away. Feel your breath soften. Feel your spirit curl into stillness, like the serpent completing its circle. Sleep is not an end. It is a beginning, a gentle return, a soft renewal. The eternal whisper of the serpent. Drift onward now, into the dream, beyond the dream, into the circle without end, into peace. The night is still. The air holds the hush of waiting. And as you rest, you feel a gentle warmth stirring, like the glow of a hidden ember beneath the horizon. You drift in a space between dark and dawn. A soft twilight stretches across the sky. Shadows begin to fade, and far to the east, a faint line of gold rises slowly, as if the heavens themselves are drawing a breath. This is the circle of the sun, the ancient fire that lights the world, the sacred disk that countless eyes once worshipped, from the deserts of Egypt to the valleys of Mesopotamia. It is more than light. It is life itself. In the old kingdoms of Egypt, temples were built to greet the dawn, their great stones aligned with the first rays of morning. Priests would stand in silence, waiting for that golden edge to break the horizon. When the sun rose, its rays stretched like fingers through the temple doors, touching the dark inner sanctuaries with living fire. To them, the sun was not just a star in the sky. It was a god, a presence, a circle that held all existence. The god Ra, sailing his boat across the heavens by day and through the underworld by night. Each morning, his return was proof of victory, proof of renewal. The sun was resurrection made visible. Imagine those mornings. The desert still cool, sand glowing with soft light, the Nile River calm and silver, waiting to be kissed by the sun's reflection. The people would gather, lifting their faces to the warmth. They felt not just heat upon their skin, but blessing upon their souls. The circle of the sun was a perfect form. No beginning, no end. It was wholeness, the eternal wheel turning across the sky. In far lands, beyond the Nile, other seekers also traced its circle. In Mesopotamia, the golden disk was carved upon stones. In Persia, it crowned the temples of fire. In Greece, it became Helios, a radiant charioteer, his horses blazing as they pulled the sun across the firmament. Everywhere, the circle meant the same. Life.order, renewal, the promise that no night was final, and no darkness could last forever. Close your eyes now, and see the sun as those ancient souls saw it. Not as a far star, but as a living circle, golden perfect, moving slowly across the heavens, like a guardian keeping watch. Feel its warmth upon your chest, soft and steady, not harsh, not blinding, just gentle warmth. the kind that calms the heart. It reminds you that all things move in rhythm. The day becomes night. The night becomes day. And so the soul also moves, through shadow and into light, forever part of the great circle. In their prayers, the priests spoke of the sun's journey. By day it ruled the sky, bringing life to crops, strength to waters, and light to every living being. By night it descended into the hidden realm, sailing through the underworld, facing the trials of shadow, but always with each dawn, it returned. A quiet miracle repeated every day, a resurrection in the simple rising of the sun. And so, in your rest tonight, you may feel that same truth. Your breath rises and falls, like the sun rising and setting. Your heart beats with rhythm, like the steady circle of light across the sky. Even in sleep, the cycle continues. Even in silence, the circle turns. Picture yourself standing at the edge of the Nile. The air is cool, and the water carries the scent of life. Papyrus sways softly at the shore. Across the river, a temple stands. Its columns are tall as trees. Upon them are carved the circle of the sun, resting between two wings, a sign of protection and eternal flight. The priests move slowly in white robes. They carry torches, but their fire pales against the sky. For in this moment, all are waiting for the true flame to rise. The horizon glows. A hush spreads through the air. Then slowly, the golden disk breaks free, lifting into the heavens. It is not a rush. It is not sudden. It is the calm unfolding of light, a circle reborn before their eyes. In that glow, they bow their heads. Their lips whisper hymns of gratitude. They know the circle of the sun will keep turning. They know that darkness is never forever. The circle of the sun is also within you. Your breath is its rising and setting. Your days are its journey across the sky. Your dreams are its passage through the underworld, where hidden things are seen. When you wake, you rise like the morning light. When you sleep, you drift into the night's embrace, and always you return. You awaken again. You continue the circle. The ancients understood this deeply. To them, the circle was comfort. It meant that loss was not the end. It meant that silence would be broken by song, and that night would give way to dawn. So too, your rest tonight is part of this circle. Your body folds into stillness. Your mind sinks into shadow, but it is not an ending. It is renewal. When the morning comes, you will rise again, like the sun, like the circle turning. Imagine now that you drift upward, above the desert, above the river, above the temple. The land glows beneath you, bathed in gold. The sun moves slowly, and you float with it, carried across the sky. You see the fields below, green with promise. You see the towns, alive with people beginning their day. You see the pyramids, their sharp edges catching the light, their stones burning with fire from the heavens. The circle of the sun blesses them all, without words, without condition, simply by shining, simply by being. And so, you too are blessed, simply by being here, simply by resting, simply by allowing the circle to hold you. When the ancients painted the sun, they drew it not with sharp lines, but as a golden disk, a circle without break. To them, perfection was not in straightness, but in roundness, in completeness, in the never-ending curve. Look at that circle now in your mind's eye, smooth, endless, calm. It turns without hurry. It shines without demand. It carries all life within its embrace. And like the circle of the sun, your rest tonight is complete. It needs no beginning. It needs no end. It is simply a turning, a gentle movement, a flowing of peace. Now the day begins to fade. The sun lowers toward the horizon once more. Its light is softer, gentler, like a candle burning low. The desert glows in shades of amber and rose. The river holds the reflection like liquid fire, and once again, the people gather to watch. They see not a death, but a passage. They know the circle continues. They know the sun will rise again, and as the disk sinks into the west, the air cools, the shadows lengthen, and the first stars appear like tiny lanterns against the sky. The priests whisper a final hymn. The day folds into night. the circle turns. So too your own circle turns now. The day you carried has set. Its light rests behind you. Now the night stretches gently before you like a calm river flowing into dreams. Rest in this circle. Breathe with its rhythm. Feel the warmth of the sun still glowing in your chest, not as fire, but as memory, as peace. The circle of the sun teaches that nothing is lost. Every ending is a beginning. Every shadow is a passage. Every silence holds a return. And so, as your eyes grow heavy and your breath softens, know that you are carried in this endless turning. The circle is around you. The circle is within you. The circle is eternal. Let the light of the sun fold now into the quiet of night. Let your body drift into rest. Let your spirit follow the circle onward into the dream beyond the dream. Now sleep as the stars return and the circle continues. The night deepens. The air is cool and still. A hush lies across the land, as though the earth itself has settled into slumber. Above, the silver moon rises, soft and slow, its glow spread across the dark sky like silk. Clouds drift like pale curtains, yet her face shines through, calm, unbroken, eternal. You lie beneath her quiet light. The world glimmers with her veil. Stone, water, leaf, and skin air brushed in silver. Nothing escapes her touch. Nothing is left unseen. The ancients knew her as more than light. She was mystery. She was rhythm. She was guardian of night and keeper of hidden truths. In Egypt, she was Isis, her crown shining with the crescent. In Greece, she was Selene, a goddess who rode her chariot of silver horses across the heavens. In Mesopotamia, she was Nana, a watchful eye in the darkness, carrying secrets between gods and mortals. Everywhere she appeared, the moon was trusted as guide and protector. Her gentle face turned night into something holy. Her veil was not to frighten, but to soothe, not to conceal, but to guard. Imagine now a sacred grove. Tall trees stand like pillars. Their leaves shiver in the night wind. At the center, a circle of priestesses gather. Their white robes glow under the moon's silver touch. They lift their arms, palms open to the sky, eyes closed in soft devotion. They speak no words. They only breathe with her rhythm. The tide of the ocean far away moves with her pull. The blood in their bodies moves with her pulse. Every heart, every river, every sea, all bow to her circle. She is not loud. She is not fierce. She is quiet power, a strength woven of gentleness. The moon is a clock of dreams. Her phases taught the ancients to measure time. Crescent, half, full, waning. Each shape carried meaning, a story told in light and shadow. The thin crescent was birth, a new beginning, a promise of what is to come. The full moon was wholeness, a cup overflowing, a circle complete. The waning moon was release, the letting go, the surrender to silence. And then, the dark moon, the time of rest, the veil of renewal, the hidden seed waiting for dawn. The moon's phases taught that life also moves in cycles, that there is time to grow, time to shine, time to fade, and time to rest. So too does your life follow this rhythm. So too does your body tonight as you drift towards sleep. Beneath her light, seers and oracles once whispered prophecies. They believed her veil could part the barrier between seen and unseen. By her glow, they cast shadows on water, watching ripples for signs. They lit fires beneath her circle, listening to the crackle as voices of the divine. But the moon did not give answers quickly. She taught patience. Her wisdom was slow, like tides rising, like seeds sprouting. Her veil was gentle, meant to be lifted layer by layer. Those who followed her knew this truth. The moon hides not to deny, but to protect. She keeps the mystery safe until the seeker is ready. Close your eyes now and picture her silver face above you. The air around you glows with her softness. Your thoughts are like ripples upon still water, catching her light. Some ripple outward, some dissolve, but always the moon remains, steady, calm, unbroken. Feel her veil covering you, not heavy but light as a dream. a blanket of silver upon your heart. It eases the weight of the day. It cools the fire of thought. It hushes the mind into rest. In far lands, the moon was also the guardian of women. She was tied to the cycles of life, to birth, to blood, to renewal. Her phases mirrored the rhythms of the body, and so she became protector of mothers, keeper of children, a soft watcher through the fragile hours of night. In her presence, all were safe to close their eyes. Travelers prayed to her when they crossed dark seas. Farmers prayed to her when they planted seeds. Priestesses prayed to her when they sought wisdom in silence. She was the lantern of the world when the sun was gone. And still she is here tonight watching over you, a guardian of your sleep. Now imagine standing on an ancient shore. The sea stretches before you, dark and endless. Waves curl softly upon the sand. Above, the moon hangs full and bright, her silver path stretching across the water. The tide moves in and out, like breath, like a slow and endless lullaby. The ancients called this her rhythm, the moon's hand upon the sea. Even the great ocean obeys her gentle pull. As you listen to the waves, feel your own breath follow. In, out, in, out. A tide within you, calm and eternal. You too are held in her rhythm. You too drift upon her silver path. In old temples, her image was carved into stone, a crescent cradling the full disk, a pair of horns holding the circle of light. To the priests, this was more than symbol. It was balance, the joining of seen and unseen, of body and spirit, of earth and sky. When they prayed, they did not pray to conquer the night. They prayed to embrace it, to rest in it, to let the moon's gentle veil fold around them like a mother holding a child. So too, you are held tonight, safe in her embrace, wrapped in her silver quiet. The moon also taught that mystery is sacred. Not all things must be known at once. Some truths are meant to glow softly, like light behind a curtain. They guide without blinding. They reveal enough to calm the soul, while keeping the heart humble. That is her gift. The gift of mystery. The gift of stillness. The gift of peace. As you rest beneath her, imagine her veil slowly lowering across the sky. Stars twinkle through, like tiny lanterns. The earth sighs in her silver. Hush, every creature grows quiet, every tree leans into shadow. Every river glimmers with her touch. Your body, too, softens. Your breath falls into her rhythm. Your thoughts grow faint, like footprints washed away by the tide. Only her veil remains, only her gentle presence. And when her light fades, as it always does, there is no fear. For the ancients knew that she, too, returns. Her circle, like the sun's, never truly ends. The dark moon is not loss. It is rest. It is pause. It is renewal. So tonight, as sleep gathers like a shadow around you, remember that this, too, is her gift. This stillness, this surrender, this soft night. The moon's gentle veil has always been with us, from deserts to seas, from temples to forests, from the prayers of priestesses to the dreams of children. She has watched, she has guided, she has soothed, and she watches still. She guides still, she soothes still, even now, as you close your eyes, even now as you drift, even now, as the stars return, rest beneath her veil, breathe with her rhythm, sleep within her silver embrace. The moon guards your night, and will return again tomorrow. Let us drift onward now, carried by her gentle light, into the dream beyond the dream, into peace. The night continues to hold you. The air is still, as though the world has paused, waiting in quiet reverence. The stars above gleam faintly, spread across the sky like scattered pearls. And among their glow, a shape begins to form in your mind's eye, a shape simple, yet eternal, a triangle, 3 sides, 3 points, 3 lines meeting in balance, so small in form, yet so vast in meaning, a symbol older than memory and gentler than time. The ancients saw the triangle not as geometry, but as living truth. It rose like a mountain, its peak touching the heavens, its base rooted deep in the earth. It was the bridge between sky and soil, between mortal and divine, between what is seen and what is hidden. To stand before the triangle was to be reminded of balance, a harmony where all parts met, no one greater than the other, each leaning upon the rest. Imagine now the sands of Egypt, still and golden beneath the moon, rising from that desert. The great pyramids stand, each one a triangle rising from the earth, its sides sloping toward the sky. Silent guardians. Stone prayers set in shape. The triangle carved into mountains of meaning. For the ancients, these were not tombs alone. They were ladders for the soul, paths of ascent, guiding spirit upward, step by step, angle by angle, toward the eternal stars. The sharp tip pointed to the heavens, reminding all who gaze that life bends ever upward, that the earth is the base, but spirit is the peak. Elsewhere, in temples of Greece, the triangle crowned their altars. The pediment, wide at the base, narrow at the top, rested like a mountain upon pillars. It declared to all, here is balance. Here the mortal world meets the divine. The worshipper who entered did not only step into stone, they stepped into the shape of truth. They crossed into a harmony that was carved not only in walls, but in the soul. The triangle also carried the whisper of numbers 1 was unity, 2 was duality, 3 was completion. The ancients felt this, deep in their breath. 1 is the seed, 2 is its unfolding, 3 is its flowering. And so the triangle became the image of creation, a sacred family, a trinity of beginnings, middles and endings, a circle broken into 3 equal lights. It told them every journey requires 3 steps, every truth wears 3 faces, every path balances 3 lines. Picture now a fire in the distance. Its flame rises into the night. Look closely, and you will see it flicker in a triangle. The base is the wood, the sides are the rising flame, the tip is the spark reaching upward. Fire itself is a triangle, a living sign of transformation. The priests of old saw this, and so they built their altars in 3s, their stones in triangles, their offerings arranged to echo the flame. The triangle was not only earth, but fire and breath and soul. And so across the earth, from pyramids to temples, from fires to altars, the triangle was everywhere. In India, yogis traced it in mandalas, a downward triangle for the womb, an upward triangle for the flame. 2 together made the star of harmony, the union of heaven and earth, masculine and feminine, the still and the moving. In Celtic lands, the triple knot spoke of life, death and rebirth, triangle woven without end, a braid of eternity. The triangle was never empty, it was always full of meaning, full of presence, full of balance. Now close your eyes and imagine, standing before a mountain. Its wide base stretches before you, solid and unmoving. Its peak points toward the stars. The triangle of stone holds you steady. You place your hand upon its surface. The rock is cool. The slope leans upward, drawing your gaze to the sky. This mountain is the triangle, eternal, it's unbroken. It tells you, be steady at the base, be balanced in the climb, be open at the peak. And so you breathe, steady, balanced, open. The triangle also taught the ancients that harmony lies not in sameness, but in difference joined. 3 lines meet, each with its own path, each with its own angle, yet together they form wholeness. So too in life, differences are not division, they are sides of the same shape. Together they complete the figure. Together they make the mountain rise. At night in hidden sanctuaries, priests would light 3 lamps, 1 in the east, 1 in the west, 1 in the center. Their glow formed a triangle of flame. They would chant in 3s. 3 breaths in, 3 breaths out. 3 steps circling the altar. The rhythm lulled them into peace. The triangle carried them into balance. It was not only a symbol, it was a way to breathe, a way to pray, a way to live. The triangle also carried the mystery of direction. The upward triangle was spirit, the reaching flame. The downward triangle was matter, the vessel, the womb. When the 2 touched, they formed the 6-pointed star, a union of opposites, a harmony of all. The ancients felt this union as peace, a stillness where all forces rested, a quiet where all dualities embraced. Tonight, As you lie in stillness, feel that same harmony in your breath. Upward, downward, inhale, exhale, heaven, earth, body, spirit, all meeting in a gentle center. In some temples, the triangle was drawn on the floor. Those who entered would step within its shape. To stand inside was to feel protected, as though 3 walls of invisible light rose around the soul. Even in dreams, the triangle was said to guard. Travelers carried its shape as amulets. They believed its angles deflected harm. 3 points, like 3 watchful eyes. 3 sides, like 3 arms around the heart, and so the triangle was shield as well as ladder. It lifted the soul. Upward, it wrapped the soul in safety. Now, imagine lying beneath the stars above. 3 bright ones form a triangle in the sky. Orion's belt points to them. They shimmer like lanterns hung from heaven. Their lines join in the night. Their shape glows softly above your rest. The ancients saw such triangles in the constellations. To them, these were not random stars. They were signs. They were gateways. They were reminders that the harmony above mirrors the harmony below. And so, looking upward, they felt calm. They felt guided. They felt watched over by the sacred triangle of light. The triangle is simple, and yet, in its simplicity, it is infinite. It speaks of balance. It speaks of creation. It speaks of harmony. It whispers, life rises like a mountain. Every soul is a flame, flickering toward the heavens. Every body is a vessel, holding spirit within. Every breath is a triangle, beginning, middle, end. And so the ancients dreamed in triangles, and so tonight you rest within its shape. The night grows deeper. The stars shimmer faintly. The air is soft upon your skin, and around you the sacred triangle rests. Unseen yet present, it is beneath you like the earth. It is above you like the stars. It is within you like the breath. 3 lines, 3 points, 3 gifts. Balance, creation, harmony. Now, let the image soften. The triangle fades into the night sky. Soothe, mountains rest in shadow. The pyramids dissolve into sand. The temple lamps flicker and grow. Dim, but the meaning remains. It lingers. Like a quiet song, it rests within your breath. It folds into your sleep. Let the triangle guard you. Let its balance steady you. Let its harmony lull you. Rest now. As the stars return, rest now beneath the sacred veil of night. Rest now within the gentle shape of peace. Let us drift onward. To the next dream, the night deepens. A hush moves across the earth, as though the world itself is closing its eyes. The wind drifts softly through unseen branches. The stars shimmer faintly above, like scattered candles left to burn in the sky. And yet, amidst this quiet, there is a sense of something watching. Not with weight or fear, but with calm awareness. An eye, vast and gentle, open in the dark. It is not the eye of man, nor beast. It is the eye of spirit, the eye that watches, always open, always present. Since the dawn of temples, the ancients painted the eye upon their walls. In Egypt, the eye of Horus was carved into stone, painted on coffins, etched into jewelry, worn upon the chest. It was more than an image. It was a guardian, the eye that never closed, the eye that saw through shadow and silence, the eye that promised, you are not forgotten. You are always seen, sailors carried it upon their ships. They painted it upon the wood of their vessels, so that the sea itself would be watched, so that storms would part, and waves would soften beneath its gaze. The eye glimmered also in Greece, upon the amulet known as the evil eye, a circle of blue, a pupil dark at its center. It was worn upon the neck, hung upon doors, placed where life passed by. The people believed it was a shield, not against swords, but against shadows unseen. Envy, anger, malice carried in thought. The eye absorbed them, catching what was hidden, leaving the heart safe. The eye did not only see, it protected, it cared. It watched without sleep. Close your eyes now, and imagine a temple at twilight. The air is cool with stone. The torches flicker along the walls. At the center stands a tall column. Upon it is carved the great eye. It seems to glow even in shadow. You walk closer. Its gaze does not follow like mortal sight. It does not chase. It does not demand. Instead it rests, steady, calm, ever present. It is not there to judge you. It is there to remind you that nothing is lost. Every breath, every whisper, every tear is seen, is held, is remembered. In many lands the eye was linked to the sun, a disk above, watching the earth with golden rays. At dawn it opened, at dusk it closed, but even in the night its memory lingered. The Egyptians spoke of the Eye of Ra, a blazing circle that traveled with the sun. It shone not only to give light, but to protect the world from chaos. To gaze upon it was to know that the heavens themselves watched over creation. And so every sunrise was more than morning. It was the great eye opening again, renewing the day, promising once more. The light is here. You are not alone. But the eye was not only the sun. It was also the moon, the silver orb that watched the night. Soft, silent, guiding dreamers and wanderers under its pale glow. Priestesses lifted their arms to it. Travelers rested in its gaze. It became the night's own guardian, the calmer, cooler eye, balancing the burning day. Sun and moon. Two eyes of the sky, one of fire, one of silver. Together they watched the world in endless rhythm. The eye was also drawn within, for many believed the true eye was not upon stone, but within the spirit. A hidden eye placed between the brows, an eye that did not blink. The mystics called it the inner sight, not an eye of flesh, but of knowing. It saw truth where no light reached. It guided in dream and vision. It opened when silence grew deep. Close your eyes now, and imagine such a light resting in your brow, a small flame shaped as an eye watching softly. It does not sleep. It does not judge. It simply sees. The ancients trusted this eye because it was steady. Life shifts like sand. Seasons come and go. Even the stars turn in their patterns. But the eye does not move. It remains open, holding all things, witnessing without end. To them, it was comfort. No secret was too small. No sorrow unseen. Every step, every silence rested under its gaze. The soul was never lost in the vastness of the world, for the eye saw, and in seeing, it remembered. Now imagine a dream. You walk across an endless desert. The sand glows faintly under moonlight. You feel small beneath the sky, but above the stars gather into a single shape. A great eye formed of light. It shines softly, never harsh, never burning. It gazes upon you with quiet strength. And you know, in that moment, that you are safe, that you are seen, that you belong beneath its watch. The eye also carried the mystery of balance. Two eyes see outward. The third eye sees inward. Together, they form harmony. The world outside, the world within, united by vision. The ancients spoke of this as wisdom. Not wisdom of words, but wisdom of seeing clearly. To see the stars above and also the soul within. To see the sun's blaze and also the moon's calm. To see both shadow and light and hold them as one, and so the eye became eternal. Painted on tombs, carved in stone, hung from necks, placed in dreams, always reminding, the world is not blind. The heavens are not silent. The soul is not unseen. The eye watches, not with demand, but with care. Not with judgment, but with presence. It is the gaze of eternity, resting upon every fleeting moment, like sunlight resting upon each grain of sand. The temple grows quieter now. The torches dim. The carvings fade into shadow. And still, the great eye glows faintly in the dark. It does not fade. It does not close. And as you lie beneath the night, that same eye rests upon you. Not heavy, not harsh, but soft, protective, present. Let it soothe you. Let it hold you. Let it remind you that you are never alone. The night deepens further. The stars grow softer. The winds fall still, and the eye continues to watch. Through silence, through dream, through rest. Now drift gently. Let your breath slow. Let your body soften. Let the gaze of the eternal eye wrap around you like a cloak. Rest as the stars return. Rest as the heavens watch with quiet care. Rest under the eye that never closes. Let us drift onward, into the next dream. The night is quiet now. The air carries the softness of distant winds. The stars above seem slower, as though they too drift into a gentle dream. You are resting within this stillness. Your breath rises and falls like a tide. And in this hush, a shape begins to appear. It is simple yet endless. A spiral. Turning inward, turning outward, without beginning, without end. The spiral has been with humankind since the first stones were carved. Upon the walls of caves, upon the shells of the sea, upon the pathways drawn by priests in the earth. It has appeared across the world, in lands that never touched, in voices that never met. The spiral was traced into clay bowls in Mesopotamia. It was carved into the stones of New Grange, where the Irish sun enters once a year and lights the winding pattern. It was painted upon Greek vases etched into Mayan temples and shaped into the golden ornaments of the Celts. Why did every people draw the spiral? Because it whispered of time. Because it mirrored the patterns of the earth. Because it spoke of eternity. Look to the sea. The shell of the nautilus curves in perfect spirals. Each chamber leads to another, each ring wider than the last. The shell grows outward, yet holds every circle within itself. Look to the sky. Galaxies spin in vast spirals, arms reaching across the stars. Each star carried in the turning, each light a part of the endless curve. Look to the storms. The winds circle upon themselves, drawing power as they turn. Look to the seed. The sunflower bends its pattern into spirals. The pine cone holds its scales in turning curves. The fern unrolls in a spiral's embrace. Everywhere. The spiral lives everywhere it turns. In ancient thought, the spiral was the breath of time, not a line that began and ended, but a path that curved back upon itself, always returning, always opening. Some believed it led the soul inward, deep into the heart of being. Others believed it led outward, into the heavens toward the great eternal. In truth, it was both, for every inward step was also an outward step. Every return was also a journey. The spiral held them together, the inner and the outer, the past and the future, the self and the divine. Close your eyes now. Imagine standing upon a wide stone floor. Beneath your feet, a spiral is carved into the earth. It begins as a wide circle at the edges. Slowly it draws inward, folding upon itself, until it rests at a single point at the center. You place your foot upon the first line. You follow it slowly. The path curves gently. It does not hurry. It leads you inward, turn by turn. With every step, the world around you grows quieter. With every turn, your breath grows softer. The spiral carries you to its heart. And there, you pause. At the center, you are still. The world has circled behind. Time has folded inward. You rest at the heart of eternity. The ancients walked spirals to reach this stillness. The Celts traced them into their sacred stones. The Greeks built labyrinths, not to confuse, but to guide the soul inward. The Hindus drew mandalas, spiraling patterns that unfolded upon cloth and sand. The spiral was not only a symbol, it was a path, a journey of the spirit, a way of returning home. The spiral also spoke of life itself. Birth begins at the center, a spark, a seed, a flame. From there, the circle widens, stretching outward into childhood, into youth, into strength, into age. And then, as the spiral continues, it bends back again, returning to the center, to the still point where all began. To walk the spiral was to walk life, to see that every step was part of a pattern, that no joy was wasted, that no sorrow was lost, all turned together in the great design. Listen now, the spiral moves, even in your breath. Each inhale curves inward, drawing the world into you. Each exhale curves outward, returning the world once more. Breath itself is a spiral. Life itself is this gentle turning. Even your thoughts follow the spiral. A memory leads to another. A dream curves into a dream. The mind circles softly, never in straight lines, always turning, always folding, and as you rest, the spiral of thought grows wider, slower, until it opens into silence. In some places, the spiral was seen as the path of the sun. At dawn, the golden circle rises. It climbs. It turns. It sets. But it is never gone. It returns again and again, a spiral of days, stretching without end. Others saw it in the seasons. Winter to spring, spring to summer, summer to autumn, autumn to winter again. The circle turns, yet each year unfolds in new layers, never the same, yet always returning. The spiral is time breathing. The spiral is life turning. The spiral is eternity unfolding. Now picture a shell in your hand. It is smooth, cool, shaped by the sea. Its spiral winds inward, hidden chambers tucked away. You place it to your ear, and inside, you hear the ocean, the great turning waves captured within the curve. So too is the spiral within you, a memory of the sea, a memory of the stars, a memory of the eternal turning, all held inside your being, waiting to be heard. Some mystics said the spiral was the path of the soul after death, not a straight road, but a gentle circling, passing through layers of light and shadow. Each turn closer to the divine center. Each return softer, clearer, more whole. Others believed the spiral was not only after life, but within every moment, each breath a circle, each heartbeat a curve, each dream another turn of the eternal path. Let the spiral guide you now, not to walk, but to rest, not to move, but to be carried. Feel it turn within you, feel it unfold around you, the world circling. Softly, endlessly, you are not lost within it. You are held. Every turn brings you home again. Every circle brings you closer to peace. The night deepens. The stars above spiral slowly in the heavens. The galaxies turn their arms through the void. The earth itself spins quietly beneath you. Everywhere, everything is spiraling, and you rest at the heart of it. All. Now let your thoughts follow the spiral. Let them circle gently outward, then inward once more. Let them fold into silence. Let them rest at the still point. The spiral has no end. The spiral has no beginning. It is the eternal breath, the eternal path, the eternal time. Now close your eyes in its embrace. Now soften into its turning. Now drift as the spiral carries you onward, deeper into dream. Rest as the spiral turns. Rest as time unfolds softly around you. Rest at the center of eternity. Let us drift onward into the next chapter, carried by the spiral of time. Night rests gently upon the waters. The air is cool, the sky brushed with stars like silver dust. Somewhere far away, a flute plays a low and lingering note. Its sound drifts across still lakes, where moonlight ripples softly. In the quiet glow, a flower begins to stir. From beneath dark waters, a bud slowly rises. Its petals are closed, folded like secret hands in prayer. But with each breath of the night, it begins to open. This is the lotus, the sacred blossom of awakening. For thousands of years, the lotus has been a sign of purity. It grows in rivers and ponds, rooted deep in mud, yet it rises unstained, its petals untouched by the waters around it. It shows the journey of the soul, from shadow into light, from silence into truth. In Egypt, the blue lotus opened at dawn, its petals reaching for the sun, then closed again at dusk. Priests saw in it the rhythm of the day, birth and death, sleep and waking. The gods were said to rest upon its petals, and the child sun was born from its bloom. In India, the lotus carried the gods themselves. Vishnu, the preserver, is said to rest upon the endless ocean. With a lotus rising from his navel, upon it sits Brahma, the creator of worlds. And in Buddhist thought, the lotus is the throne of enlightenment, where the awakened ones rest, calm as still water, bright as the dawn. Imagine now a wide pond at twilight. Its waters are dark, yet calm as polished glass. The air carries the scent of earth and water, a sweetness born of summer night, all across the surface. Lotus leaves float like emerald discs. Some are broad and open, catching drops of moonlight. Some are curled at the edges, folding into spirals. And among them, the flowers rise. Each lotus is different. Some are pale, like soft ivory touched with pink. Some are golden, like dawn caught in bloom. Some are blue, deep as twilight itself. They rise from mud below, but no trace of mud touches them. They rest untouched, floating pure, opening wide to the sky. The ancients saw in the lotus the story of spirit. The roots were the earth, where the soul begins. The stem was the journey, lifting through waters of trial. The blossom was awakening, the soul in full bloom. The heart unfolded, the petals themselves carried meaning. 4 petals, the directions of the world. 8 petals, the noble path of the Buddha. 1,000 petals, the crown of spirit, a light opening at the crown of the head, where the self meets the divine. Close your eyes now. See a single lotus before you. Its stem sways gently in the water. Its bud is still closed, tightly folded. As you breathe, the petals loosen. On each inhale, they soften. On each exhale, they spread a little wider. The bud unfolds in rhythm with your breath. Slowly, gently, it becomes a flower. At last, it is open. Its petals stretch wide, smooth and shining. At the center glows a golden heart, warm and calm, like a small sun resting within. The lotus teaches stillness. It does not rush to open. It waits quiet in the water until the time is right. Then, without effort, it blossoms. So too with the spirit. There is no haste, no struggle, only unfolding, petal by petal. When the moment is ready, the lotus reminds the soul that awakening is gentle, that truth blooms in stillness, not in force. In some tales, the lotus was the bridge between earth and heaven. Its petals were steps, each layer carrying the spirit higher. In the great temples of the East, lotus columns were carved in stone, their capitals shaped like blossoms, as though even stone itself longed to bloom toward the sky. Kings sat upon lotus thrones, not as lords of power, but as symbols of purity, raised above the shadows of the earth. And monks in meditation imagined themselves seated upon a lotus, their bodies rooted in the earth, their spirits rising toward the heavens, their minds opening like petals in light. The lotus also speaks of rebirth. Each night it closes, folding into itself, sinking toward the dark. But each dawn it opens again, greeting the sun anew. So too the soul, which passes through cycles, darkness to light, sleep to waking, death to life again. In its rhythm, the lotus whispers, "There is no end, only opening. There is no loss, only return." The flower closes, and the flower blooms again. Now picture yourself resting upon a lotus. Its petals are wide beneath you, soft as silk, strong as stone. They hold you gently, lifting you above the water. Beneath, the pond is dark and quiet. Above, the stars shimmer, their light touching the edge of every petal. You feel safe here. You feel still. The lotus carries you, never sinking, never swaying too far. You rest within its calm embrace. Your heart, like the flower, begins to open. One petal unfolds, then another, a slow blooming of peace, a quiet unfurling of light. In Buddhist thought, it is said that each person carries a lotus within. At the heart of being, a flower waits. It waits through the mud, through the waters, through the shadows of the world. And when the time is ready, it opens. This inner lotus cannot be touched by sorrow. It cannot be stained by fear. It rises above all waters, pure, untouched, forever whole. When the mind is calm, when the breath is soft, one can feel its petals unfolding. One can rest in its light. The lotus is also the seat of compassion. Its bloom is not only for itself, but for the world. Its fragrance spreads upon the air. Its beauty shines for all who pass. So too the awakened heart, which blossoms not for pride, but for kindness, for love, for gentle light upon all beings. As the lotus opens, the spirit opens. As the lotus shares its fragrance, the heart shares its care. This is its gift. This is its teaching. Listen again to the night. The flute plays faintly, a drifting song over the waters. The air is cool. The moon glows silver. The lotuses shine upon the pond, each one a star upon the earth. Their petals open toward the heavens. Their roots drink from the earth. Between them flows the water, quiet and eternal. They hold all worlds within their bloom. Earth, water, sky, and light. Now let yourself rest, as though you too were a lotus. Feel your body as the stem, rooted and steady. Feel your breath as the water, flowing and calm. Feel your spirit as the flower, opening in the night, petal by petal, into peace. No need to hurry, no need to force. Like the lotus, you open when the time is right. And in this moment, you are already unfolding. You are already at rest. The pond grows quiet. The stars shine softly above. The flute fades into silence. The lotus remains, open, gentle, still, and you too remain, carried in its calm, resting in its light. Now let the petals close around you, not in loss, but in rest, not in ending, but in peace. They fold softly, like hands in prayer, They shelter you, they cradle you, they hold you safe. Rest now in the lotus. Rest now in its quiet bloom. Let us drift onward. As the lotus closes and the stars return, the night has deepened. The stars above drift quietly, like lanterns hung from the unseen beams of the heavens. The air is still, the kind of stillness that feels sacred, as if the whole world is pausing to breathe in unison. In this hushed space, a tree begins to rise before you. It is not just a tree of wood and leaf, but something older, something woven into the memory of the earth itself. Its trunk glows with the soft hue of moonlight. Its roots stretch endlessly downward, into the soil, into the rivers beneath the soil, into caverns where secrets sleep, and its branches, vast and reaching, stretch high into the endless sky, brushing against the silver gates of the stars. This is the ancestral tree, the great axis, the bridge between all worlds. Long ago, many peoples told stories of such a tree. The Norse called it Yggdrasil, the ash tree that held the 9 realms within its embrace. In India, sages spoke of the Ashvatha, the sacred fig tree, with roots above in the heavens and branches flowing down to the earth. Among the tribes of the Americas, there were tales of the great cottonwood, planted at the center of creation, where birds carried prayers to the skies and roots whispered to the deep waters. Every culture, every path saw the tree as more than wood. They saw it as a mirror of life itself, rooted in the dark, nourished by unseen streams, standing strong in the present, with bark and trunk to shelter those who rest beneath it, reaching into light, into sky, into realms of spirit. The tree was never just a tree. It was the ladder of being. It was the meeting point where heaven, earth, and underworld touched fingers like old friends greeting each other again. Imagine yourself standing at its roots now. The soil beneath your feet is cool, soft, and breathing. The roots are thick, like rivers of wood, twisting and curling into the unseen depths. You can almost feel them pulsing, carrying the lifeblood of the earth upward. Each root is an ancestor, each root a memory. They hold the voices of those who came before. Listen closely. There are whispers in the roots, a mother's song, soft as a lullaby carried on the wind, a grandfather's laughter, gentle and low. Generations of stories hum together here, weaving a song that has no beginning and no end. Roots remind us that we are held, that before us came others, who planted seeds, who tended fires, who shaped the path we walk. And just as the tree never forgets its roots, neither does the soul forget where it has come from. Now let your eyes rise. Look upon the trunk. Its bark is ancient, rough yet smooth in places, worn by countless hands. Symbols are carved here: spirals, suns, birds, rivers. Markings left by those who once stood beneath this shade and gave thanks. Touch the bark with your hand. It is warm, steady, alive. It beats with the rhythm of a quiet heart. Every ring within this trunk tells the story of a year lived. Storms endured, rains welcomed, summers of bright growth, winters of long rest. So too does your own life carry rings. Seasons of joy, moments of loss, times of stillness, and times of reaching upward. Like the tree, all of it lives within you, and like the tree, none of it is wasted. Higher still, the branches stretch, they twist like rivers of light, like arms reaching outward, like pathways winding toward the stars. Leaves tremble softly, catching the shimmer of the moon. Each leaf is a prayer, a dream, a hope that has risen from root to branch. Each leaf belongs to the present moment, delicate, temporary, and yet radiant. Above, the branches cradle the stars themselves. Owls rest there, silent guardians of the night. Birds of light weave among the branches, carrying seeds of tomorrow. The higher you look, the less the branches seem like wood. They blur into constellations. They become the very fabric of the night sky. And here you understand, the tree is not separate from the stars. It is one with them. Its branches are the sky's embrace, its roots the earth's memory, its trunk the bridge between. The ancestral tree is the universe standing still, shaped into a form that the soul can see. Ancient myths spoke of travelers who climbed such a tree, shamans who let their spirits drift upward, carried by branches into the realms of sky. They spoke with ancestors. They returned with wisdom. Others journeyed downward, along the roots, into the underworld where hidden knowledge slept, guarded by serpents and rivers of night. There, too, they found truths, bringing them back to the living. Always, the tree was the bridge. Always. It was the way home. When you dream tonight, perhaps you too walk along these branches. Perhaps you step upon the trunk as if it were a path of light, spiraling upward toward a quiet star. Or perhaps you rest against its roots, sinking into a deep and gentle sleep, cradled by the arms of your ancestors. Beneath the tree, time slows, the air is cool and fragrant with earth, a stream flows nearby, its waters clear and eternal. The sound of it is like a soft voice humming a song without words. The leaves above sway, their rhythm like 1,000 breaths moving together. Night birds call gently in the distance, and a sense of great peace lingers here. The kind of peace that feels endless, the kind that welcomes you to simply rest. The ancestral tree holds you without demand. It asks for nothing but your presence. It reminds you that you are part of something vast, that you belong to the deep roots, to the strong trunk, to the luminous branches, to the stars above. You are not apart. You are within the tree, and the tree is within you. Let this vision remain with you, soft as the drift of moonlight. The tree is eternal, standing quietly in the heart of all worlds, roots drinking from ancient waters, branches drinking from eternal skies, the trunk standing between, a path, a prayer, a presence. As you close your eyes now, let your breath become the tree's breath, slow, steady, calm. Feel the roots of your body sink gently into the earth. Feel the trunk of your being rise with quiet strength. Feel the branches of your thoughts open toward the stars. Here you are safe. Here you are whole. Here, your home. Let us drift onward now, carried by the silence of the night. Let the stars return to their watch above. Rest as the tree continues to stand, eternal and kind. And as sleep begins to draw near, remember, you are rooted, you are sheltered, you are lifted toward the light. The ancestral tree holds you, always. The night is quiet, like a vast canvas stretched across the sky. The stars glimmer faintly, as if brushed there by unseen hands. The air is soft and still, carrying only the faint rustle of distant sands. You find yourself standing at the edge of a desert. The horizon shimmers in moonlight, endless and pale. The sand glows silver, like waves of an ancient sea turned to dust. There is no heat here, no burning sun, only the cool breath of night, wrapping you in calm. And there, upon the horizon, rises something luminous. Two shapes stand side by side. They are tall, radiant, and winged. Their light is not harsh, but warm, like fire seen through a veil. They are the twin seraphs of fire. For centuries, people of the desert told stories of such beings, spirits of flame not to destroy, but to guard. They stood at gates between worlds. They kept watch over hidden sanctuaries. They were thresholds made flesh, reminders that the way into the sacred is always protected. These were not angels of fear. They were guardians of light. Their wings burned with soft embers, like hearth fires on a winter night. Their gaze was gentle, as though seeing not only the body, but the soul within. Step closer now. Their wings rise like great curtains of flame, yet you feel no pain. The fire does not consume you. It only surrounds you, wrapping you in a warmth that feels eternal. The flames flicker in patterns, curling like petals of a flower made of fire. The air is alive with a quiet hum, as though the fire itself is singing a song without words. Each seraph holds one half of the flame. Together, they form a whole. One glows with the red gold of the dawn. The other shines with the silver blue of twilight, day, and night. Beginning and ending. Balance held in twin forms. Ancient. Scrolls spoke of seraphim, the fiery ones, who circled the throne of the Most High. They were said to burn not in destruction, but in love, in endless devotion. Mystics described their 6 wings. 2 to cover their faces, 2 to cover their feet, and 2 to lift them in flight. But in this vision, they stand as 2, not many. 2 lights, 2 guardians, joined in harmony. Some desert cults believe the seraphs guarded the gates of the temple. Others believe they stood at the edges of the world, where the earthly and the eternal touched. Still others whispered that when the soul left the body, the seraphs of fire came to carry it home. Always they were protectors. Always they were guides. You stand between them now. Their wings arch above you like the roof of a sanctuary. You are sheltered beneath fire, and yet the fire is soft as moonlit silk. Look into their faces. They are not human, nor are they beyond you. They are something in between. Their features shimmer like shifting embers, impossible to capture, always changing, and yet, when they look upon you, you feel completely known. They know your grief, and they do not turn away. They know your joy, and they welcome it. They know your fear, and they ease it. They know your hope, and they guard it. The twin seraphs stretch their wings wider now. Between them, a flame rises. It is tall, bright, and steady, a pillar of light reaching from earth to sky. It flickers not with chaos, but with calm. This is the threshold, the place where the mortal steps into the divine. You step forward, and the flame opens like a door. Its light wraps around you like a cloak, and you feel yourself growing lighter. Your worries fall away like sand slipping through open hands. Your breath slows, each exhale carrying you deeper into peace. Within the flame, visions move like slow rivers. You see temples carved from stone, where fire burned forever on sacred altars. You see travelers kneeling before lamps, whispering their prayers to the glowing flame. You see mystics in the stillness of caves, holding a single candle as if it were the sun itself. Everywhere, fire was honored as the bridge between the seen and the unseen. A flame could carry prayers upward. A flame could purify what was heavy. A flame could remind the soul that even in darkness, light remains. The seraphs of fire were keepers of that light. They did not own it. They only protected it, so that it could guide the weary home. The desert wind stirs gently now. It carries with it the scent of sage, of resin, of smoke from fires long extinguished. The stars above sparkle brighter, mirrored in the golden shimmer of the flames. The night does not feel empty. It feels alive. It feels as if the whole sky leans close, listening to the quiet crackle of the sacred fire. The seraphs fold their wings slightly, drawing the flame into a smaller, gentler glow. It now rests like a lantern between them. Its light flickers across the sand, leaving ripples of gold, and you understand. This is the same flame that burns in the heart of every living being, the same light that flickers within you. Rest in this thought. The flame does not judge. The flame does not demand. It only shines, it only warms. It only reminds you that you, too, are light. The seraphs look upon you once more. Their wings, now calm and folded, glow like quiet coals in the night. They bow their heads, not in command, but in blessing. You are safe beneath their gaze. You are held in their fire. The desert grows quieter still. The sands lie smooth and silver beneath the moon. The flame fades softly, sinking into your heart. The seraphs remain at the threshold, eternal, patient, kind. You turn away now, drifting back into the calm of the night. The memory of wings, of fire, of warmth follows you. Like a gentle ember resting within your chest, each breath fans that ember, keeping it alive, keeping it soft. And as your body grows heavy and your mind drifts closer to sleep, the seraphs keep watch. They are guardians of thresholds, and tonight they guard the threshold of your rest. So let yourself drift. Let the flame within you burn gently, steady and calm. Let the wings of fire shelter you. Even as you close your eyes, the night is wide, the stars are near. The seraphs stand in silence, and you are safe. Now, rest as the stars return to their endless watch. Now rest, as the fire glows quietly within. Now rest, carried by the twin seraphs of fire. The night is hushed. The stars are steady lanterns above, shining through a deep velvet sky. A gentle wind moves across the earth, carrying with it the scent of stone. of earth warmed and cooled by countless days. You find yourself standing before an ancient labyrinth. Its lines are carved into the earth like flowing rivers frozen in place, winding in patient curves that turn and turn again. It does not rise as walls, but lies low, a path drawn into the soil, waiting for quiet feet to follow. The moonlight spills across it like a silver blessing. Every line glows faintly, as if the stones remember the prayers of those who once walked here. It is not a maze of confusion. It is not meant to trap or trick. It is a spiral of passage, a gentle journey inward. And tonight, beneath the gaze of the stars, the labyrinth waits for you. For thousands of years, people carved labyrinths into earth, stone, and story. From the temples of Crete, where myths told of heroes and beasts, to the cloisters of medieval monasteries, where monks trace their steps in prayer. In deserts and forests, by rivers and by seas, the same pattern appeared. A single winding path, circling and circling, always leading to the quiet center. The labyrinth was a symbol of life itself. Its turns mirrored the way a soul must wander, not straight, not simple, but with patience. Every step forward seemed sometimes to lead away, and yet, always, the center was waiting. A reminder that what is sought is never truly lost. Step gently onto the path now. The ground beneath you is smooth, its stones cool with night. Your feet feel the curve of each turn. The labyrinth welcomes you slowly, winding you inward. Each step is like a breath. Each breath is like a step. The air is quiet, except for the faint whisper of wind brushing the grass at the edges. The first turn comes, and it takes you away from the center. It feels as though the heart is distant. And yet, the path is steady beneath you. This is the teaching of the labyrinth. Not all that feels far is truly far, every wandering. Curve still belongs to the way. Ancient pilgrims once walked. Labyrinths as prayers. They would move in silence, one step at a time, carrying hopes, carrying burdens, carrying longing. Each turn of the path was like a word of prayer unspoken. Each step was an offering. Some saw the labyrinth as the journey of the soul from birth to death. Others as the soul's way from ignorance to awakening, and still others as a dance, a mirror of the stars circling above. Whatever the meaning, the steps were always slow, always soft, always steady. The labyrinth taught patience. It whispered that there was no need to rush. What was meant to be reached would be reached. In time, you keep walking. The turns bring you near to the center, then far again. The pattern is gentle but full of mystery. It is like the flow of rivers, like the winding of dreams. The more you surrender to it, the more you see that every step matters, even the ones that feel like they lead away. The moon is higher now, its light soft upon the stones. Shadows pool in the curves of the labyrinth, like water gathering in quiet bays. Above, an owl glides silently, circling as though keeping watch over your journey. Its wings spread wide, its flight unbroken, a mirror to the circling path below. In myths, labyrinths were often guarded. In Crete, the Minotaur waited at the center, a creature of mystery and fear. But long before and long after those tales, the labyrinth was not a place of monsters. It was a place of stillness. The guardian at its heart was not a beast, but silence itself. Silence that holds you. Silence that teaches. Silence that burns away. Worry, like fog lifted by morning sun. The ancient walkers knew this. When they reached the center, they did not fight. They rested. They prayed. They sat in the stillness until their hearts were quiet. Your steps carry you closer now. The turns are smaller, circling in tighter embrace. The air feels gentler. The stars seem brighter. The center is near. And when you arrive, it is not a grand hall, not a throne, not a treasure. It is an empty space, round and still. The stones form a circle open to the sky. The silence here is deep, but not heavy. It is the silence of peace, the silence of breath slowing, the silence of the heart finding its rhythm again. You stand at the center of the labyrinth, and for a moment, you are at the center of yourself. The labyrinth teaches that all journeys are inward. The world outside may turn and twist, But the soul is always walking toward its own heart. Even when it feels lost, even when it seems far, the path is still there. Winding patiently, it asks only that you trust the steps. It asks only that you keep walking. Close your eyes. Here at the center. Feel the earth beneath you. Feel the stars above you. You are held between them, like a thread stretched between earth and sky. The path has brought you here, and in the quiet, you realize the center has always lived within you. The wind stirs softly again. The owl circles once more, then drifts into the distance. The labyrinth waits, but it does not hurry you. Time here feels different, slower, kinder. The curves of the path seem to melt into your breathing, into your heartbeat, into your dreams, and now it is time to return. You begin to walk outward, following the path as it winds again. Each step away from the center still carries its peace. Each turn outward is another chance to carry stillness with you. The labyrinth is never left behind. It lingers within, its lines etched into memory, its calm resting in your chest. The night grows deeper now. The moon leans westward, bathing the labyrinth in silver shadows. Your steps grow slower, softer, lighter, until you are barely moving. The stones seem to hum with the prayers of ages, a lullaby carved into the earth. At last, you step beyond the final curve. The path lies behind you, but its rhythm stays within. The center you found is still with you, beating quietly, steady and calm. You rest at the edge of the labyrinth, your eyes closing. The stars above shimmer like lanterns. The wind carries whispers of timeless voices, and sleep comes like another turn in the path. Gentle, expected, guiding you inward once more. Let us drift onward now. The labyrinth remains behind, yet also within. Its patience is yours. Its peace is yours. Every step, every breath carries you closer to rest. Now close your eyes as the stars return to their endless watch. Now rest as the labyrinth folds its quiet circles around your dreams. Night folds around the earth like a gentle cloak. The stars drift across the heavens, their light falling in soft silver threads. Somewhere in the distance, a river moves quietly, its waters calm, its voice hushed. The air is still, yet alive, filled with the quiet breath of trees and the faint hum of hidden insects. You find yourself entering a chamber of stone, an ancient place of stillness. Candles glow faintly along the walls, their flames swaying with the rhythm of your breath. At the center of this quiet chamber rests a vessel, a chalice of deep bronze, worn by age, kissed by light. It is not adorned with jewels, not made to shine with wealth. Its beauty lies in its simplicity, in the silence it holds. This is no ordinary cup. It is the vessel of silence, a sacred symbol carried through centuries of prayer and ritual. For as long as stories have been told, cups and vessels have held deep meaning. In temples and shrines, in deserts and mountains, they were lifted with reverence. They carried water, the gift of rivers. They carried wine, the blood of harvest. They carried milk, honey, oils, sacred offerings of earth. But more than what they held, the vessels themselves became symbols of something greater. They became images of the human heart. Open, waiting, ready to be filled. Not by riches, not by noise, but by presence, by the quiet flow of the divine. In Greece, there were stories of sacred craters, bowls in which wine and water were mixed before feasts to honor the gods. In the East, cups were lifted in tea ceremonies where silence itself was part of the offering. In desert monasteries, simple wooden bowls carried the daily bread of monks, teaching them humility. Across the world, the vessel appeared again and again, always reminding the seeker that emptiness was not absence, but readiness. The chalice before you glows in the candlelight. Its surface reflects the flame like still water catching the moon. You step closer, and though it stands silent, it feels alive. It feels as though it waits, as though it listens. This is the mystery of the vessel. It teaches not through words, but through openness. It teaches that to be empty is not to be broken. It teaches that silence is not lack, but space for the sacred to enter. When the vessel is filled, It carries the gift. When it is emptied, it waits in trust. It does not cling. It does not grasp. It simply receives. Close your eyes for a moment, standing before this vessel of silence. Imagine your own heart as such a chalice. It does not need to overflow with thought. It does not need to be heavy with burdens. It only needs to be open. Like a cup, your heart can receive. It can rest in stillness, letting peace pour gently into it. It can release what it no longer needs, letting the old waters flow out. This is the way of the vessel. This is the way of the soul that learns to be still. In ancient rituals, when the chalice was lifted, the world seemed to pause. The cup was not just an object. It was a meeting place where human hands touched the mystery of the divine. The wine inside symbolized joy. The water, purity. The oil, healing. But even when the vessel was empty, it remained sacred. For emptiness was itself a prayer. Many sages taught that the heart is a vessel. When filled with noise, it cannot receive. When filled with worry, it spills over with unrest. But when quiet, when clear, when open, it can hold the stillness of eternity. You breathe slowly, feeling the chamber around you. The stone walls echo faintly with silence. The candles burn without sound, their flames bowing in gentle arcs. The vessel before you seems to shimmer, as if its emptiness is full of light. Some say that the vessel is a mirror of the moon. The moon, too, is a cup in the sky. It receives the light of the sun and pours it into the night. It does not create, yet it shines. It does not speak, yet it guides. So too the vessel, waiting open, reflecting what is given. Imagine now the chalice being filled. Clear water is poured into it, and the surface glimmers with soft ripples. The water is cool, alive, fresh as a mountain spring. It catches the candlelight, scattering tiny stars across the stone. The vessel holds it without clinging, without fear of loss. It knows the water will come and go, but the vessel remains. The water is peace. The water is breath. The water is silence made visible. And as you watch, it feels as though the peace of that water is pouring into your own heart, filling it, soothing it, making it still. There is a teaching that says, the most sacred sound is silence. It is in silence that the cup is filled. It is in silence that the heart becomes whole. The vessel of silence does not demand. It does not rush. It simply waits. And in its waiting, it becomes holy. The great mystics of every path understood this. They spoke of being emptied so that something greater might enter. They spoke of the soul as a cup that could only be filled when it was first cleared. They spoke of surrender, of stillness, of quiet trust. And all their words pointed back to this same truth. To receive, one must first be still. The night deepens outside the chamber. The stars are more numerous now, scattered like grains of light across the sky. The river beyond the walls moves steadily, its waters like a hymn of patience. And here, within the circle of candlelight, the chalice glows, your breathing slows, your thoughts grow softer, like footsteps fading into distance. The vessel of silence sits before you, timeless, unbroken, steady. It reminds you that peace is not far. It is here, waiting to be received, like cool water in an open cup. You bow gently before the chalice. The candles flicker as if bowing with you. The silence grows deep, but it is a silence that comforts. It feels like a blanket woven of stars, wrapping around your heart. And as you step back, you know that you carry the vessel within you. It does not belong only to temples, to rituals, to ancient hands. It belongs to every soul that learns to wait, to every heart that learns to open. You walk with it now, a chalice of stillness within your chest, a vessel ready to be filled with peace. The night invites you onward. The chamber fades. The candles dim. The vessel rests in timeless watch. The silence lingers, soft and calm, flowing through you like gentle water. Your breath is deep, your body at ease. Sleep comes like a gift poured into the cup of your being. Let us drift onward now. The vessel remains, both outside and within. Its stillness is yours. Its peace is yours. Now rest as the stars return, and the vessel of silence cradles your dreams. Night drapes itself gently across the world. The air is cool, touched by the faint fragrance of earth after twilight. A slow breeze carries with it the sound of leaves brushing softly against one another. Above, the stars appear one by one, each a quiet flame in the sky's endless dark. You drift now into a sacred space, where stories of unity linger like whispers in the wind. In the distance, a circle glows faintly with firelight. Shadows stretch and bend upon ancient stone walls. Voices are hushed, almost like the murmur of a prayer. And within this circle, hands reach for hands, fingers interlace, palms press together, a ring of warmth forms. Human souls joined in quiet devotion. Since the beginning of time, the circle has been a sacred shape. Without beginning, without end, it became a sign of eternity. Drawn upon cave walls, etched in sand, carved in wood, painted on stone. Always, it spoke of wholeness. Always it whispered of belonging. Hands, too, were among the first symbols humans knew. Pressed in red ochre upon cavern walls, outlined in black soot, resting side by side, a sign that someone was there, that someone had touched, that someone remembered. Together, hands and circles became one of the oldest prayers, a prayer for connection, a prayer for unity. You see them now. These hands of old, some large, some small, men and women, elders and children, all leaving their mark in silence. Not to say I, but to say we. Not to stand alone, but to stand together. In sacred gatherings, the circle of hands became more than a gesture. It was a bond. Warriors stood in a ring before battle, calling on strength beyond their own. Families encircled their hearths, holding hands as stories were told and bread was shared. Mystics formed circles in deserts and forests, believing the space between them to be holy. Every circle of hands was a reminder. No one is ever alone. The fire at the center glows brighter. Its flames flicker, casting soft light upon the linked hands. Faces are calm, eyes lowered. Breath rises and falls as one. There is no leader in this circle, no one higher, no one lower. All are equal, bound by the quiet line of their touch. The circle has no sharp corners, no walls. It opens to all who wish to join. In this way, the circle became a symbol of the divine itself. For just as the circle has no end, so too love has no end. And just as the circle has no break, so too spirit cannot be broken when it rests in unity. Imagine now your own hand, slowly reaching outward. You feel another palm meet yours, warm and steady. On the other side, another hand touches, gentle and sure. And suddenly, you are part of the circle, part of something greater. The warmth moves through you like a quiet current, not rushed, not loud. It flows like water through stone, like breath through lungs, like a heartbeat shared. This is the strength of togetherness, a strength not found in walls, but in connection. Ancient teachings tell of circles drawn before prayers, some made of stones, some made of salt, some made only of people. Hands joined, hearts joined. They believed the circle was a shield, keeping out harm, keeping in light. It was not a prison, but a sanctuary. It was not a barrier, but a reminder that life itself is a circle. Birth to death, dawn to dusk, seed to tree and seed again. Hands lifted in prayer form another circle. Fingers curve, palms close, shaping a vessel of devotion. Whether raised to the heavens or pressed together before the chest, the circle appears again. It is always a sign of return, a sign of unity between earth and sky, human and divine. The fire burns lower now, but the circle remains unbroken. It is not light that binds them, but the invisible thread of spirit. In silence, they share strength. In stillness, they share peace. Think of the heart itself. It beats in rhythm, sending life through every part of the body. Every vein, every vessel, he is touched by its flow. So too the circle of hands. Each person becomes a heartbeat, each one a vessel of life, and together they create something greater than themselves. Beyond the fire, the stars above form circles too. The wheel of constellations turns slowly across the sky. The moon moves in cycles, waxing and waning, but always returning. The seasons spin in circles as well. Spring to summer, summer to autumn, autumn to winter, then spring again, everywhere. The universe moves in circles, and here, with hands joined, humans mirror the heavens, the circle below echoing the circle above. You breathe softly now, your own chest rising and falling like the rhythm of those linked hands. In this story, you are part of the circle. Your place is neither behind nor ahead, but beside. Together, the circle teaches patience, it teaches kindness, it teaches that peace is shared, not taken, and when fear arises, the circle holds it. When grief comes, the circle softens it. When joy appears, the circle magnifies it. This is why it has remained, through ages and across lands, from painted caves to desert prayers, from quiet monasteries to hidden groves. The circle of hands endures. The night grows deeper. The fire has nearly gone to embers, yet the warmth does not fade. It lingers in the touch, in the silence, in the hearts joined together. You rest now in that circle. You feel the safety of unity. You feel the quiet of the stars above. Your breath becomes slow, steady, peaceful. The circle of hands will not break. It will hold you in its embrace. It will remind you that you are never alone, that every soul is part of a greater whole. Let the circle carry you now. Let it cradle you like the curve of the moon, like the gentle wheel of the seasons, like the endless turning of the stars. The night is soft, the silence deep, the story complete. Let us drift onward. Now rest as the circle closes gently, and the hands of spirit hold you safe until dawn. The night opens softly, like a veil being lifted from the stars. The air is still, touched only by the slow rhythm of your own breath. In the hush of this dreamlike silence, a story begins to glow, a story carried through the sands of Egypt, where temples rose like mountains of stone, and the Nile whispered ancient hymns beneath the moonlight, beneath the sky of eternal constellations. People once spoke of a goddess named Ma'at. She was the keeper of truth, the guardian of balance, the gentle weight of justice in a world filled with choices. In her hand, she carried a single feather, not heavy, not sharp, not fierce, but light, soft, and pure. It was this feather that became a guide for every soul who crossed the threshold from life into eternity. When the body grew still, when the breath no longer filled the chest, the spirit began its journey. It was said that the soul would walk into the hall of truth, a vast chamber filled with the quiet light of eternity. There, the heart of the traveler was weighed, not against stone nor iron, nor gold, but against the feather of Mayat. The heart was not a muscle of flesh in that place. It was the vessel of all memory, all choices, all words spoken and unspoken. Every kindness, every shadow, every hidden thought lay within it, and yet the scale was gentle. The test was not one of punishment, but of harmony. If the heart was heavy, burdened with cruelty, weighed down with dishonesty or greed, the scales would falter. But if the heart was light as the feather of truth, the soul was free to pass into the fields of peace. There, beyond the horizon, lay endless green lands, shimmering waters, and the embrace of the eternal. The image is soft, like a dream, a hall without walls where the air carries no judgment, only stillness. At its center stands a scale, two plates held in perfect balance. On one side rests the feather of Mayat, white as morning cloud, gentle as the breath of dawn. On the other, the heart of the soul who has come to be measured. The silence is deep. There is no voice of accusation, no harsh word, only the quiet truth of balance, and the whisper of the feather's stillness. Think of the feather now, not as a relic of a forgotten temple, but as a symbol within your own resting spirit. The feather is honesty, the kind that does not shout, but simply shines. It is the lightness of being, when burdens are set aside. It is the freedom of a mind that has spoken gently, that has lived with care, that has not held too tightly to bitterness. The ancient ones believed that each person's heart carried its own weight. To live truthfully, To live with kindness was to walk lightly upon the earth. Every small act of compassion, every quiet moment of forgiveness made the heart softer, freer, closer to the feather of Ma'at. Imagine walking through the desert night. The sands stretch in every direction, cool beneath the gaze of the stars. Above, the constellations shimmer, the same patterns that once guided sailors, farmers and wanderers thousands of years ago. Their light is steady, untouched by time. As you walk, you carry nothing heavy. The wind lifts grains of sand, but they fall gently, like thoughts drifting away. Your heart feels unburdened, like a vessel emptied of stone, filled instead with air, with starlight, with the soft touch of eternity. In this dreamlike journey, you may picture yourself standing in the hall. The feather lies before you, bright as the moon on water. Your heart rests upon the other plate, glowing softly like a lantern of memory. And as the scales balance, you feel no fear, you feel no weight, only stillness, only lightness. The feather whispers of freedom. It tells of the joy in honesty, the peace in simplicity, the strength in gentle truth. It reminds you that the heaviest burdens are not stones carried in the hands, but shadows carried in the heart. When those shadows are released, the heart becomes light. It floats, just as the feather floats upon the air. The people of Egypt painted this image in the walls of tombs, in golden chambers where pharaohs rested. They carved it into stone. They whispered it into prayers. For them, the feather was more than symbol. It was promise. Promise that truth is not lost, that balance will always return, that every soul finds its measure, and that peace lies in gentleness. In those quiet desert nights, when the Nile reflected the stars, families would tell this story. They would remind each other that to live with truth was to live with lightness, and to live with lightness was to walk hand in hand with eternity. Now let the feather drift into your dreams. See, it carried by the breeze turning slowly, as though the air itself holds it with care. It drifts through the chamber of your mind, settling softly where the heart rests. Its touch brings ease, its presence brings calm. You feel your breath slow, your body soften. Your spirit grows still, every breath is lighter now, every thought drifts farther away, like sand carried into the horizon. The scales are balanced, the heart is quiet, the feather rests in peace. The story of Mayat was never meant to fill the soul with fear. It was meant to comfort, to remind each traveler that lightness is always within reach, that no matter how heavy life may feel, truth and kindness can lift the heart again. The feather is there, always waiting. It floats through dream and waking, through night and day, reminding the soul to rest in honesty, to breathe in balance, to drift in peace. And so, as the night deepens around you, let your spirit grow light. Let your breath become the feather softly rising, softly falling. Let your thoughts fade like the desert wind. The scales are even. The heart is calm. The journey is gentle. Now rest. As the stars return to their silent places, rest. As the feather drifts onward into dream, rest, for truth has made you light, and lightness has carried you home. The night is quiet now. The world has folded itself into stillness. Beyond your closed eyes, a vast sky opens, a sky that has always been there, stretching beyond measure, holding the soft fire of countless stars. You rest in the hush of this space. It feels endless, yet gentle. Every breath is like a wave upon its shore. Every exhale is a release, a drifting into something larger, something eternal. The ancients once looked upon this same sky. Their eyes rose to the darkness, not with fear, but with wonder. For them, the stars were not cold stones of fire, but living symbols, lanterns of memory, gates to the eternal. Imagine now a temple in the desert. Its stones are worn smooth by wind and sand. By day it stands in silence, a place of cool shadow, but by night it awakens. Columns rise like tall trees of stone. Their tops seem to touch the heavens. Between them, the open roof reveals the sky, a black river of velvet, where stars drift like golden boats. This temple is not built by chance. Every stone was set with care. Every passage aligned with the stars. When the sun rose on sacred days, Its light streamed down the halls, marking the rhythm of seasons. And when the night came, the stars poured their light through hidden windows, resting upon altars as if the heavens themselves had stepped inside. The people saw these alignments as messages, as signs that their world below was joined with the world above. Each temple, each pyramid, each circle of stones upon the earth was more than shelter. It was a gate of stars. Through it, they felt the soul could rise, not as a flame that dies, but as a flame that joins the greater fire of the cosmos. To them, the stars were family. They were the ancestors, watching, guiding, waiting. Think now of the constellations, patterns traced by patient eyes, their lines connecting points of light into stories that never fade. There is Orion the hunter with his shining belt. There is Sirius, the brightest star of all, twinkling like a jewel. There is the Swan, the Scorpion, the Great Bear. Each a reminder, each a story carved upon the sky. The ancients gave them meaning. They said these shapes were mirrors, reflections of the truths upon earth. Every hero, every goddess, every sacred beast could be found above. So when one looked upward, they did not feel small. They felt connected. They felt at home. In Egypt, temples opened to Sirius, the star whose rising marked the coming of the Nile's flood. In Mesopotamia, priests traced the steps of Venus, her bright dance a measure of time. In Greece, myths were woven into the stars, telling of journeys and lessons that never faded. Even in faraway lands, where mountains touched the sky, stone circles aligned with solstices, and fires were lit beneath the constellations always. The stars were gates, bridges to the eternal, reminders that the soul was part of something infinite. Now imagine yourself beneath such a sky. The temple walls are cool against your skin. A torch flickers nearby, its flame small compared to the heavens. The air smells of stone, of earth, of distant water. You walk slowly down a corridor. The walls are carved with figures, gods with wings of light, animals with watchful eyes, circles and stars etched into stone. Their shapes are simple, but they glow as though alive. They whisper of harmony, of order, of the endless dance of night and day. At the corridor's end, you step into the open air. Above you, the Milky Way stretches, a river of silver dust. It flows from horizon to horizon, wide and endless. You feel as though you could step into it, as though the sky itself's a doorway. The ancients believed that death was not an ending, but a passage through such a gate. The soul would rise, lifted by starlight, guided by constellations toward its eternal home. Some said the soul became a star, joining the sky as a new spark of light. Others said it traveled beyond the stars to a place of eternal rest. But all believed the cosmos held the spirit close, that above there was belonging. Now let the stars be close to you. See them as lanterns in your mind, each one holding a memory, a kindness, a moment of peace. They shine without fading, they shine without end. Your own soul feels lighter, drawn upward like a feather in the breeze. The gate of stars opens gently, not with force, but with invitation. It welcomes you. It whispers that you belong. Every culture, every land, every person who has looked upward has felt the same stillness, the same pull of eternity, for the stars are not far. They live within the breath, within the silence of the heart. When you close your eyes, the constellations still shimmer. When you sleep, their gates are still open. The temple is not gone. It lives in memory, in dream, in the soft rhythm of night. Let yourself drift now, as though stepping into that cosmic hall. Columns rise on either side. Above, the sky bends low, filled with rivers of light. Your steps are slow, your body light. You walk not to reach an end, but to be part of the journey. The gate is before you, wide, luminous, woven of stars. It opens without sound, without effort, and you step through. Beyond is not distance, but peace. Beyond is not unknown, but belonging. You feel the whole of the cosmos settle gently around you, like a cloak of starlight. You are safe. You are eternal. You are home. The night deepens now. The constellations wheel slowly, like guardians in the sky. The temple fades. The sand grows quiet. The world falls into rest. And still the stars remain. Still the gate is open. Still the soul is light. Let yourself drift onward. Through this gate of stars. Let the breath guide you, soft and slow. Let the silence hold you, gentle and kind. Now rest as the sky folds around you. Rest as the stars return to their watchful places. Rest, for you too are part of the heavens, forever within the gate of stars. The night grows quieter now. The air is still, soft as silk upon the skin. In the hush of darkness, a single shape glimmers again. A circle, faint and endless, drawn not with ink or stone, but with breath, with rhythm, with life itself. It has been here from the first step, woven through every tale, every star, every prayer. The circle, unbroken, eternal. You rest inside its curve, it cradles. You as gently as the horizon holding the sun. It soothes. You as surely as the tides returning to the shore. The ancients drew circles upon cave walls, their fingers brushing dust into shape. They walked in circles, around fires, around stones, around shrines. They knew that to move in a circle was to move in harmony, to echo the turning sky. A circle has no beginning, no end. It is a breath that continues, a song that never breaks. It is the wheel of seasons, spinning slowly from spring to summer, from autumn to winter, and back again, always returning. Imagine now a great ring of stones. They stand tall, silent beneath the stars. By day they seem like ordinary rock, but by night they awaken with memory. The moonlight brushes their edges, the air shimmers. Here, generations gathered walking around the circle, their voices lifted in chant. They believed the circle was the language of the heavens. The sun rose in a round arc. The moon waxed and waned, always to return. The stars wheeled in vast circles across the night. And so life, too, was understood as a circle. Birth and death, loss and return, all part of the same turning. In Egypt, the Shenring was drawn, a circle with a line beneath, a sign of protection and eternity. In Greece, the Ouroboros coiled, a serpent biting its own tail, reminding all that endings are only beginnings turned inside out. In the East, the mandala bloomed, a circle of symmetry, its petals radiating outward, its center holding stillness. Across oceans in the lands of the first peoples, the medicine wheel was traced in earth, each direction a guide, each path part of the whole. Every circle spoke the same truth. All is connected, all returns. Picture now a circle drawn in the sand. The wind brushes it, but it remains. The waves reach for it, but its memory endures. Sit within that circle. It holds you, safe and whole. Its edge is not a boundary, but an embrace. The circle whispers, you are part of the whole. You are not apart. You are not lost. You are a link in the endless chain, a note in the eternal song. The heart, too, beats in circles. Blood flows round and round, carrying breath, carrying life. The inhale leads to exhale, and the exhale to inhale. Even the breath is a circle, a tide, an eternal returning. And so the circle lives within you, not only above, not only in stone, but in your very being. It reminds you that nothing is wasted. Every ending holds a seed. Every silence holds a sound. Every night leads to dawn. Think of the sun. Each morning it rises, climbing the sky. Each evening it falls, only to return. The ancients watched, and they understood. Life, too, is a rising and falling, joy and sorrow, arrival and departure, meeting and farewell. But always, always, there is return. And the moon, with her silver face, teaches the same. She fades, she disappears, yet she is never gone. She grows again, round and full, a circle reborn. The circle is a comfort. It tells us there is no final loss. Even the quiet of death is but a doorway into return. The spirit drifts, but it comes home again folded into the great circle of being. It becomes the rain, the wind, the star, the light in another's eyes. And so grief softens, for nothing is truly lost. The circle holds all things. The circle gives them back. Now rest within this image. See yourself at the center of a great circle. Around you, Hands join, ancient and modern, known and unknown. They form an endless ring. Some are of your family, some of your friends, some of people whose names the world has forgotten. But their hands are warm, their faces are kind, their presence surrounds you. The circle breathes with you. It is steady, unbroken, it holds you in peace. The fire at the center glows softly. Its light rises upward, a golden thread that seems to join the stars. Above, the constellations bend down. They too form a circle, wheeling across the sky. Below, the earth turns round and round, without end. Everything moves in circles. Everything belongs. Let this truth soothe you now. Your journey, with its twists and turns, is not a line that breaks. It is a path that curves, a circle that returns. Where you began, you will meet again. What you thought was ending will become beginning. And in this circle, you are always held. You are always home. The night deepens, the stars grow softer. The circle of hands fades into dream. The fire lowers, its light now a warm ember. The earth continues to turn, slow and gentle. Like a cradle, you drift with it. You rest inside the circle. And the circle, endless and quiet, rests inside you. Let us drift onward. Let the circle return. Now rest, as the stars fold back into silence. Rest, as the circle cradles you without end. Without beginning, rest forever within the eternal circle.